Nobody grieves more than the aviation community for a loss of other pilots, and especially for us, because these were young kids in their prime, and all they wanted to do was fly, and they loved aviation. So it's a huge loss.
Evidence raising questions and speculation about the small plane crash that took the lives of 4 people. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya Rogers. Thanks for joining us. Investigators have already made some initial determinations trying to find out what happened that brought the small plane down minutes after takeoff. Only on 5 News Channel 5's Liz Nunez sat down with our aviation expert and gets his impressions of what we know.
The 4 young lives lost. It's not only a tragedy for their family, but for the aviation community.
It's terrible. We've lost another generation of pilots coming forward.
News Channel 5's aviation expert David Bagelos has been watching the investigation closely.
This was, in fact, an accident. Without placing blame or allowing a scapegoat to be put on anybody yet, it's way too early.
NTSB is now several days into its investigation. The latest findings show the plane's left engine was not receiving fuel when it crashed. Despite the problem, investigators say corrective action could have saved the lives of those on board.
What we're seeing right now is they didn't take those actions to prevent this from happening.
Twin-engine airplanes like this one have a VMC, or a minimum controlled airspeed. Once they got below that, the airplane would have been unable to maintain level flight, and it would have rolled over. Why they allowed it to get down below that VMC, we don't know yet. And without a cockpit voice recorder like on the big jets, we may never know that, unfortunately.
Experts agree timeliness and experience played a big factor. But just because those on board were young doesn't mean they didn't have enough experience.
The flight instructor probably had 500 to 700 hours. The students could have had as little as 200 to 300 hours. But that's not an insignificant amount flying in South Florida. We're going to find that what we think is the problem now may not be the problem at all. It's going to be quite deeper. There's always multiple layers that go into this.
A preliminary report from the NTSB is expected next week, but it could take 6 months to a year to learn what really happened. In West Palm Beach, Liz Nunez, WPTV News Channel 5.